Hello, my name is Ed Durbin, and I'm your econ professor here at the University of Michigan Flint. Again, this course is it's an introductory course in economics and microeconomics in particular. And again, I just want to kind of walk through a few things. This is a brief introduction, and most of the material you can find here in the syllabus. I would urge you to make sure that you do follow up and go back and read through the syllabus. So anyway. Quickly about myself, again, my name is Ed Durbin, and I've been at this for quite a while. I've been teaching econ for probably going on about 30 years. Early on, I was in a previous life, if you will. I worked at Chrysler and worked in finance at Chrysler, and so I've got a lot of quote unquote real world experience. But again, at any rate, focusing on the microeconomics, looking at microeconomics, we're drilling down as you would expect, right? We're looking at various aspects of what we will get into. It's called the circular flow of real economic activity, where we're looking at the household versus the firms, the different sectors in the economy, and looking at how goods and services are being produced at the firm, and the distribution of those goods and services going back to the household as consumer, and also, of course, the income. And there are a number of other things that flow into this as well, including, so looking at the different sectors, the household sector, the firm, the business sector, if you will, and government, and lastly, the international aspect of this, the foreign sector. At any rate, this is as opposed to macroeconomics, which is macro is a big picture. So this would be the next course that you might take, or another. I think it's actually 201, but regardless, macroeconomics, looking at the big picture in the economy, basically looking at the three legs of the stool, as I like to look at it, and that would be economic growth, or GDP, gross domestic product, and other things that flow forth from that. And also looking at price level changes, inflation, and lastly at the employment picture. So again, at any rate, that's kind of the big picture of both the micro and the macro. Again, this course is micro, so onward we go. Oh, and before I continue on with the next slide here, what I want to make sure is that you do understand that you can reach me. You can, of course, contact me via email, always available that way, of course, and I'll get back to you quickly within a day, unless it's on the weekend or something extraordinary. Nonetheless, you can always reach me by phone. And I have my cell number on here. You can call me, leave me a message, and if I don't pick up, if there's, for example, there's a problem with taking an exam or something like that, you run into a problem with Canvas, it goes down occasionally. So things happen, right, in life. You can always reach me by phone. All right. So again, onward we go. I won't belabor the issue here. I won't stretch this out. I'll try to keep, again, this presentation very, very short. So the book that we're using is by McConnell, Brew and Flynn. It's on the 23rd edition, and I've got the picture of it here. And this is micro. You can use the microeconomics textbook. You can get that, again, the McConnell, Brew and Flynn. You can probably go back again as far as like the 20th edition of that book. You can pick it up online. We do not need the Connect subscription. I do have the link here for the bookstore where you can find the book and purchase the book that way, of course, or you can just go on Amazon or Chegg or whatever that's out there, and you can pick up a cheaper copy of the book. So again, you can get an earlier edition. This is the 23rd. It's the latest edition. But just focus on the chapter numbers. In fact, I'll take it one point further. You can also get the economics version, just straight economics, where it covers both micro and macro, and it all depends upon, for your purposes, the price, right? What you can get away with in terms of finding a cheap price of some of these books. But again, focus on the chapter headings as opposed to the actual numbers. If you opt to get a different edition of the book. The 23rd is fine, and that's probably the ideal, but you can get away with something prior to that if you will as well. Also, I want to just point out that I do have an economics newsletter that I reference quite frequently in the material, during the course, and also it's something that would be available to you as an alternative assignment, if you will, on discussion board. So we'll stop with that. Okay, so cutting to the chase, getting to the nitty gritty, if you will, on the the components, the graded components of the exam. I'll have the breakout on the next slide here, but I just really wanted to kind of briefly go over. There are actually 5 exams total, and that would include the final exam. The final exam is what I would say is optional. Okay, so the idea is that there are 4 total exams that will be graded. So the way this works is that, let's back up. So there are 4 exams, and then there's a final exam, which is, again, I say it's optional. And we'll do a couple of different scenarios. One is that you take your 4 exams and you are satisfied with the results in terms of the grade average that you get from those exams, and you can, in that case, you can opt out of the final exam. You don't have to take the final exam. And if you do take the final exam, what we will do is we'll take the top 4 the top 4 exams. So we'll drop the lowest score of the 5 exams that you take. So again, we're back to the 4 graded exams, if you will. At any rate, that's on the one on the one side of this. So the next thing we're looking at are the quizzes, and hopefully I didn't confuse you with the exams, but again, it's pretty straightforward, and you'll see this as we go forward, and you can again find this information on the syllabus. The quizzes are untimed as opposed to the exams. I maybe not mentioned that. Should have, that the exams are timed, so you have limitations. You could go in, once you click on that exam, you have to complete the exam within the framework of the time. And I've never had issues with time on, not enough time that would be available for you. Quizzes are not timed, meaning you can go in, and I would suggest using them as a study guide of sorts as you go through the material and kind of answer the questions, and you can go back and forth. Make sure you save the material, save the quiz before you back out of the quiz. And until you finally do until you finally submit, and from that will be, your score will be automatically tallied up for you. Lastly, the discussion board. I may add some other things kind of going forward, but we'll stick with this for the moment, is going to be the discussion board. And the discussion board is pretty straightforward. I expect to have 5 total responses for, requiring 5 total responses for each discussion board per module. I think I've got, at any rate, I've got the number of discussion boards going forward, but it's pretty straightforward. I'm looking for, it's not rocket science. We're looking for 5 responses. And what I mean by responses, maybe a paragraph apiece, not 2 or 3 words, or I agree with that. Along those lines, that's not an adequate response, and I'll be grading you accordingly. So keep that in mind. Discussion board. Again, these are great opportunities for you to score a lot of points. And that is it for. So now this is I lost my picture again. That's fine. On this last, we're looking at the evaluation components. Again, the exams are 4 graded exams with that optional final exam, where we would drop the lowest score for a total of 560 points. The quizzes are 20 points each, and there are 15 chapters, so we have 15 quizzes. Hence, we end up with 300 points for that. And finally, the discussion board, where we have 7 discussion boards. So I'm not going to kill you with discussion boards. So there are only 7, and those are worth 20 points apiece for a total of 140. Now the grand total is 1,000 points, and from that we arrive at the percentages that would be associated with it. So, for example, you score 1,000 points, that would be 100%. Okay. No extra credit assignments in the course. You have lots to do. Trust me, going forward with this, for one. And also, as an aside, it's an important point, I do not accept late work. So keep up with the material. Quick example, Module 1, Module 2. So Module 1 covers chapters 1 and 2. And with that, we would have a discussion board and quiz, of course, associated with that. I think I may have one quiz, but there might be two quizzes. Chapters 1 and 2, I may have them combined, but nonetheless, same rules apply for the quizzes, and that they're untimed, but once you submit, that's it. In Module 2, in this case, we introduce more material, chapters 3 and 4. And again, discussion board and quizzes, and then there's an exam that covers chapters 1 through 3. And again, this exam is going to be timed. I'm not sure if it's at 1 hour or it's the ample time to complete the exam. My exams are similar to the quizzes in terms of being multiple choice and true false. So again, keep that in mind. I'm not going to try to kill you with a lot of math in this course if you haven't discern that at this point already. I'm not going to bombard you with lots of math. Anyway, that's it. Let's roll, people, and work hard, and you will have good results. Okay, and it's always best to focus early so that you can do what at the end of the course? You can forego taking the final exam. Keep that in mind. Let's have a great class.